Too Sweet Wrestling Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back once again. It is June 8th, and this is episode 22 of the Too Sweet Wrestling Podcast. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, we have topics. We have CM Punk. We're going to talk about him, the court case. Will he ever come back to wrestling? We're going to talk about that. Shawn Michaels, will he be returning? Impact Wrestling on the Jericho Cruise. Going to break that down. And Roman Reigns. Are they really going to go with Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam? You don't want to miss what I have to say about that. So, before we get into this, a couple of house cleaning notes. You can find me at OMG Corey B on Twitter and at 2SweetPod. That's the number 2, Sweet P-O-D. Also, this will be broadcast on YouTube and Castbox. Find me on Twitter. I will follow back and I will feel free to discuss wrestling with you. So let's get right on into this. Not going to waste any more time. Going to go right into the too furious topic of the day. And today we're going to talk about Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan. We're going to start the clock. We got 1 minute and 30 on the clock today. We're going to start it. We're going to talk about it. So Eddie Edwards, Sami Callihan, boys from the not hood, but boys from the woods. We had the backwoods, Orlando Woods, Tiger Woods, whatever Woods match last night on Impact Wrestling. And I gotta say, that was so well done. I enjoyed every minute of it. It was dark and it was so well done. It reminded you of Final Deletion or Ultimate Deletion, whichever one it was. Final Deletion, from the one from Impact Wrestling, not WWE. It reminded you of that. It had that kind of feel, but a darker feel to it. Eddie Edwards destroyed OVE. And going into this match or encounter, I was the one to say that I thought that Eddie Edwards would lose here, because I thought that they were telling the storyline that Eddie Edwards is going overboard in his obsession with destroying Sami Callihan, and that would take him into a loss. But what we got here is Eddie Edwards came down on Sami Callihan, busted him open. Then Tommy Dreamer tried to intervene, and Eddie Edwards beat down Tommy Dreamer. So this feud must continue. And I don't know where to go with this, but Eddie Edwards in this character is just doing a phenomenal job. He beat down Tommy Dreamer. We're going to go a little bit of overtime here, and this has been quite the revelation. Every time I think this feud is over, it's like it's going to keep going. It's going to keep going. And I don't know what they can do past this, but it's going to be interesting. I want to see what happens with Eddie Edwards when they finally finish this feud. Are they going to keep this road with him going? I'm going to be checking out on that. So, I'm going to get right on into this. We got Impact Wrestling, Chris Jericho, the Chris Jericho Cruise. Impact is Jericho. They're going on a cruise with Chris Jericho. And this is a phenomenal idea. When I seen Chris Jericho's announcement on Twitter, I tweeted Impact is Jericho, because that's where, that's Chris Jericho's thing, where he says Raw is Jericho and all of that stuff. But besides that, I'm very excited to see that this is going down. First up, this is very huge. It started with Sami Callihan. We just got done talking about Sami Callihan, talking crap about Chris Jericho, talking crap about All In. And it was a collaborative effort with Impact Wrestling, with Sami Callihan, with those videos. So I don't know how it all came along, but Chris Jericho invited Impact Wrestling to come along. I'm assuming that it has to be Sami Callihan that's going to be wrestling there. I gotta say, I hope it's more than Sami Callihan. I hope they get quite a few Impact wrestlers wrestling there. I hope they get the video and everything. This cruise sounds like it's going to be a fantastic time. Got Sami Callihan, got Impact Wrestling. You got all kind of guys from everywhere wrestling there. It'll be interesting to see if Chris Jericho wrestles there as well. This is going to be a huge event. As I've been saying with Impact Wrestling, the money is in collaborating with other promotions, and the money is collaborating with Chris Jericho here. Chris Jericho has come so far in his wrestling career. He was always talented, but he has reached the point in his career to where I could legitimately call him a legend of the sport. And I would never think that about Chris Jericho, because I always thought of Chris Jericho as, the guy that I've been seeing wrestling for so long. And I've never thought of him as in that territory, but he's a living legend, living wrestling legend. I gotta say that about him. He has continued to keep himself relevant in the world of wrestling in 2018. And his partnership with Impact Wrestling should be great. I wouldn't mind seeing Chris Jericho on Impact Wrestling television, to be quite honest, on just a one-off match. I would love to see that. I would love to see Chris Jericho in Impact Wrestling as well. So, that should be awesome. But moving on, we have CM Punk. We got the court case with CM Punk, the long court case, and this has been quite interesting because we've had this battle with CM Punk and WWE going on for forever now. And they sued CM Punk. And this court case went on throughout the entirety of the week. And it ended with CM Punk getting the victory over WWE and the Doctor. It was quite interesting, quite the interesting result. CM Punk has a fight coming up as well. I find that interesting. It was said that he cried at the result when the result was read. And it is interesting because finally we can put this behind us, this whole CM Punk versus WWE thing. We put the case behind us and move forward. What I did find interesting after all of this, though, CM Punk had an interview where he said, no one has approached him about wrestling. It has been hinted here and there, but no one has come at him with a set amount of money and said that you will be wrestling wrestler X for a set amount of money. And I found that very interesting. Now, ever since then, he said that he's tried to knock it down and say that he's not interested in wrestling anymore. And, wrestling is done for him. And I just cannot believe that. He said he's moving on. And he has every right to say that. He has every right to feel that way. He doesn't owe wrestling anything. That's his life. But it is always my standpoint that wrestlers wrestle. And CM Punk has a fight coming up this Saturday. I'll be rooting for him. I always root for the wrestlers when they go outside of wrestling. I rooted for Brock whenever he went to UFC, his first fight with Frank Mir. And I ended up with Brock tapping out. But I rooted for Brock then. Brock went on to win the heavyweight title, and the rest is history. I rooted for Punk here. He lost his first match very easily. And Dana White has also said that, if he loses this one, then it's probably not going to work out. So I'm rooting for him, but despite that, if he loses, I think there's a high chance that we see him on the indies. This is just my opinion. Wrestlers wrestle. There hasn't been too many that has just gone into a solid retirement, and I'm about to get into the person that did that. But I think CM Punk, I think the WWE thing may be out. You never say never on that, because I seen the Ultimate Warrior come back and rest his soul, and I never thought I'd see the Ultimate Warrior in WWE ever again with the amount of stuff that went on between him and Vince. So you never say never there, but you have all of these options out there in wrestling, and I could very much see CM Punk coming back and making a killing on the indie scene. I think that will happen. That's just my opinion. We'll see how it all plays out. So moving on, I said that I was going to get into a wrestler that had a solid retirement. Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, at the ripe age of 52 years old. He talked about his retirement and how he wouldn't mind a one-off match, but fans would have to accept that they wouldn't be getting the Heartbreaker, the Heartbreak Kid, the showstopper that they remember. Now, I found this highly interesting as well, because Shawn Michaels has always been on the side of I'm done, and that's it. He's never even hinted at the possibility of him getting in a wrestling ring again. This is the first hint, ever since he's retired. This is the first hint. So he said also, He listed the name of opponents that he would like to see, and I'm about to get into that. And he also said that a one-off match would be good with Triple H so that they could crotch chop and have fun. But he listed some opponents, and he said that Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, and Johnny Gargano, he listed off those guys as opponents that he would like to wrestle. But I'm going to play the game that I love to play, and that is when it comes to wrestling, it's the process of elimination. I normally want to do this for pay-per-views and coming down to a multi-man match and deciding who I'm going to pick, but I'm going to do it here. And I'm going to throw Seth Rollins' name into all of this as well. So, Shawn Michaels is coming back. He can only wrestle one match. Who do you choose? Who do I choose? So, process of elimination. As much as I love him, looking at the other three guys, Johnny Gargano has to go first. I love him. It would be an awesome match with HBK, but he has to go out. That leaves us down to Bryan, AJ Styles, and Seth Rollins. Hard choices ensue here. I mean, you can't go wrong with anybody, but somebody has to go. And the least desirable match that I want to see out of those three guys is Seth Rollins versus Shawn Michaels. So Seth Rollins is out, and it's down to Bryan and AJ Styles. Look, if Shawn Michaels came back and wrestled any one of these guys, it would be phenomenal. I mean, the build would be phenomenal. The teacher versus master build with Bryan would be just excellent. And it would be great with AJ Styles as well. But the match I want to see the most is AJ Styles versus Shawn Michaels. These two guys get the most comparisons. I've compared them myself. I think AJ Styles is the better overall wrestler. But, you know, they wrestled in different eras, so it's hard to compare different eras at times in sports and especially in wrestling as well. But I think that would be a phenomenal match. Now, if Shawn Michaels comes back and he's not himself, I don't think we wouldn't hold it against him at all. I don't think any wrestling fan would hold it against him. We'd just be happy to see him come down to his music. I'll drop down on the owl one last time, fireworks come up, and see him have a phenomenal match. AJ Styles and Dan Bryan would bring him to a phenomenal match. AJ Styles would be great. I am one to say that I admire Shawn Michaels for sticking with his retirement. But the possibility of a one-off match with AJ Styles, I would love to see that at a huge pay-per-view, and I hope that he goes through with it. Honestly, if you remember back to 2 WrestleManias ago, it was reported that WWE was holding off AJ Styles' plans in hopes that they could get a one-off match with Shawn Michaels, and it didn't work, and AJ Styles was left out, obviously. But hopefully we could get that match at any big pay-per-view, SummerSlam, whatever the pay-per-view is, I would love to have it. So moving on, we have Roman Reigns. Oh my goodness. Latest report came out from Dave Meltzer and from Bleacher Report, if I'm not mistaken, that Brock Lesnar is on the outs with WWE, and the reported person that will take the title off of Brock Lesnar is Roman Reigns. Look, I saw this report, and obviously I follow a bunch of people on both of my Twitter accounts, a bunch of wrestling people on both of my Twitter accounts. And I saw these reports circulating, and I just bursted out laughing. Oh, man. Look, a lot of people are upset about this. A lot of people don't want it. I mean, a lot of people are obviously making sense that saying that, what is the point of doing this now? I mean, it makes no sense whatsoever. I don't even think I have to go down the list of why it doesn't make any sense whatsoever when you could put the title on the man at WrestleMania. But, look, I look at it like this. If they don't care, then I don't care either. Go ahead. Let Roman Reigns win. Guess what's gonna happen in the main event? The crowd gonna crap all over it, and that's gonna be my entertainment. Just like, quick story, WrestleMania. Sitting down with my brother. He says, that morning, he said, what you think gonna happen tonight? I said, I don't know, but that crowd is gonna crap all over Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. And they did. And it was, you know what? It got to a point to where it was entertaining. Because WWE, they put themselves in this situation, and then they blame it on the crowd. And, well, the crowd just had it set on their minds. They wanted to crap on the match. No, you built the storyline that way. And that's why they crapped on the match. And this what it will be if we get down to Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. The crowd will crap on the match. And this time, look, there's no excuses. I will be laughing. Go ahead and do it. I find entertainment. If you want to, sure, they got a $1 billion deal, so they don't care. But if you want to destroy your company from a booking standpoint, go right ahead. Just we'll be crapping on the match. We'll boo. We'll say any random cheer we want in protest. Because look, Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman, obviously, these guys, and I've had Braun Strowman for the longest, and I still have Braun Strowman, but I acknowledge that Seth Rollins is right there and ripe for the picking. Oh, man. You better not say right for the picking to Ronda Rousey, by the way, because only her husband can say that. But Seth Rollins is right there. And I wouldn't mind. He's the next in line. Braun is the next in line. These are the guys that should take the title off of Brock Lesnar. But if WWE wants to be stingy, they want to be stupid, then go right ahead. I'm just going to laugh at the main event. I'm going to have myself a hearty laugh, a hearty good time. And whoever wants to defend it, then go right ahead. I'm not going to get into any debate, any Twitter debates that I know I'm right at. And look, I'm not a bragging person. I'm not saying that I know everything about wrestling, but this Roman Reigns stuff is just obvious. And it has just been obvious that it wouldn't work. But yeah, people just defending it and fighting heel turns, and you know what, whatever. I'm at the standpoint of, go ahead, y'all can have what y'all want. Vince can have what he wants, it doesn't matter. I don't really care about Roman. You just put the belt on Roman Reigns already. Just go ahead. And let's have a full roster feud with somebody with the belt. Fine, if you don't want to have Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman take the belt off of Brock Lesnar, they both deserve it. They both busted their tails getting over. They weren't the given choice to take the belt off of Brock Lesnar originally. Seth has really busted his tail that 25-minute gauntlet match. And if you don't want to reward those guys, then you know what? Whatever. Go ahead, put it on Roman Reigns. Let everybody, not everybody, but let people who defend Roman Reigns be happy. And it is what it is. Maybe Roman Reigns and whomever can start a full roster feud. Now, see, there are some people that are saying, well, maybe there'll be a cash in after that. And you know what? That's fine and whatnot. But that's not going to save the fact that people are going to crap all over the main event. Maybe it'll save face as to send the fans home happy, but that's about it. Maybe, and that'll be a decent moment, but I don't know. There's just no reason to have the SummerSlam main event crapped on like that. So that is it for this edition of the Too Sweet Podcast. If you have any questions, hit me up on Twitter, YouTube, DMs. I will respond on wrestling. Let me know.